Hello, and welcome to Popcorn and Perspective. This is the place where we not only enjoy delicious popcorn, but also deep dive into the world of film. We're your hosts, Chantal, and I am here with my co-host.
And I'm Chris.
And we're here to share our insights on new releases and timeless classics. Get ready to experience movies like never before as we offer you our confident perspective. Welcome to today's episode. So, full transparency, we did have a different topic lined up for this week, but this film has been living rent-free in my mind since this dropped, and from what I've seen, everybody is talking about it. So you already know we have to shift gears and give our thoughts on what might be, and I don't say this lightly, the best film of the year, Sinners. But before we dive deeper into Sinners, you can follow me on X or Twitter at _AkiraXO and on Letterboxd at Edna Mode.
And you can follow me at Twitter on the Hazel-Eyed Movie Guy and at Letterboxd under the same name, the Hazel-Eyed Movie Guy.
And now let's jump into Sinners. So as of May 19th, let's break down what this film has done so far. It's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes at a whopping 97%. It's ranked in over 300 million worldwide on a 90 million budget. It has the best opening for an original film since Jordan Peele's Us, mind you, original film, people. Scored the second best Monday for a rated R horror film with 7.8 million, just behind It. Ended its first week with 77.5 million, which puts it ahead of The Conjuring and Get Out, and also claimed the second best second weekend for a rated R horror flick after It, which made $60.1 million. And when it comes to Ryan Coogler, this is now his third best second weekend, right after Black Panther and Wakanda Forever. And listen, Sinners keeps IMAX sold out. It's like every showing. So, brother, for the stragglers who still haven't seen Sinners, can you give us a quick rundown of the story?
Yes, Sinners is about twin brothers, Smoke and Stack, former soldiers and gangsters, who returned to their Mississippi hometown in 1932 to start a juke joint using money stolen from their former mob employers. Their plan to create a safe space for the local Black community is disrupted by the presence of Jim Crow laws and a sinister force. The twins find themselves facing a new set of challenges and dangers as they try to protect their community from this evil, which threatens both their physical and cultural well-being. Absolutely great movie.
That was a lot, but it's like that was a lot. Thanks.
I wanted to give them the rundown so they'll really get the feel of it.
So now, y'all, before we really dig in, spoiler alert, this episode will be full of spoilers. The film has been out for a month, so we're not holding back. So if you haven't seen it, hit pause now and come back later. Otherwise, let's dig our fangs into Sinners. So, brother, what did you think of this film?
This film absolutely blew me away because it's one of those movies that you sit through and you get entertained and you really enjoy, but once the credits roll, you still thinking about it days, weeks later, to the point where you want to go see it again. It masterfully blends vampire horror, historical drama, and gangster film elements into a richly layered story, with the perfect backdrop being the 1930s Mississippi time frame. I feel like this film explored themes of resilience, community, and identity, while the pacing, some people found kind of off-putting, but I loved it because that time established the brothers' bond, established their time away. It established all multiple characters to the point that when the action really started going, you cared about these characters. So it effectively built the atmosphere also. And one of the key aspects of the movie is the soundtrack. It's a standout, and it might as well be its own character because it fuses blues, jazz, and modern beats, and it captured the era's essence, but also it heightens the film's eerie, soulful mood too, making it a very important part of the movie. From every scene in this movie is just jam-packed with things that just have you like wow and awe. But from the opening scene, there's this haunting atmosphere that pulls you in. Like the cinematography is stunning, but it's not in a polished, like shiny kind of way. It's like old school feel, kind of labored, old timey way to it. And you can particularly feel the dust in the air and the weight of the silence between the characters because every frame seems to echo which each character has internal differences and conflict. And speaking of the characters, this is where Sinners really shines. because the performances are phenomenal from top to bottom. Michael B. Jordan delivers such a layered dual portrayal as both Smoke and Stack, differentiating between guilt, defiance, and a kind of reluctant hope that he feels. You believe every word, every pause, every tortured glance, and the supporting cast is just as powerful. They're not just background, they embody the consequences of every choice and every sin in ways that feel deeply personal. And I have to give a shout out to Delroy Lindo. He delivers a powerful and emotionally rich performance, which he does in all his movies. He's just a plus actor, but his character in this one has a profound sense of importance and inner conflict, and his portrayal is layered with the pain of his background, with vulnerability, and he commands the screen with quiet intensity. And one of the main things about the casting, and I'm gonna murder her name, and I'm so sorry for this, Wanmi Musaku. I probably killed that, didn't I? How you say her name?
It's Wamni.
Wanmi? As the Wanmi, okay, yeah, Wanmi. Casting her as the love interest in Sinners was, I love that. It was bold, and it was good to see Hollywood stepping away from the narrow-minded, centric, I should say, standards of beauty that they usually have. As she is a darker skinned, fuller figured woman, she challenged conventional norms and expands the representation, and she actually commanded that, and she was done beautifully in this writing. But I also appreciated how the film doesn't spoon feed you the answers. Like it lets the audience be intelligent, and it asks you to engage and reflect, because there are quiet moments that say more than the loud moments, and you just have to sit in your own thoughts and kind of develop what you're thinking. But I think there's a scene in this movie that years down the road from now, you're going to ask people, young directors and story writers, why did you get into it? And they're going to point to this scene, and it's the sequence where the generations of music within the culture are shown. That scene absolutely floored me, because it starts off so subtle, but just like a faint rhythm in the background of when Sammy's singing, but then it builds gradually, moving through different time periods, showcasing how the music and tradition and emotion have evolved across generations. And the transitions are seamless. That's what get me. They're like seamless. Like they don't have a hiccup to them at all. And you see an elder playing a traditional instrument, and then scene cuts to a younger generation remixing those same sounds. And it's not just a cool montage, it's a storytelling in itself through sound and motion. Like you feel the pain and the perseverance and the just overall we shall overcome kind of feel through the melodies and stuff. Because there's a moment where a grandmother sings a hunting folk song or some kind of folk song, and as her voice like echoes and disappears, then it hits a gospel choir, and then a hip hop person, and then the DJ on the, and the visuals, they aren't flashy. They're like sacred, almost like you're watching the culture breathe through the time frame, man. And that scene itself could be like, you can just break down that scene for hours and hours and just pick at storytellers and everything, and they'll tell you, okay, this is the cultural greatness in this aspect, and like that, you can make a movie off just that scene alone about a documentary. So, and also what's amazing is that the film doesn't explain the scene. It just thrusts you into it and say, here, absorb it, feel it. But I do love how it reiterated over the narrator saying, sometime a voice will come to you and it awakens I like that it gave us that a second time just in that moment. Cause you watching the film, you hearing it in the beginning and you might've forgot it by now. So I do like that. But it makes it so impactful. Just a scene about music, about memory, identity, and resilience. And like I said, that moment alone could stand as a short film. But in the context of Sinner, it deepens the emotional core of the story. It reminds us that redemption isn't just about one person. It's about lineage, heritage, and about honoring the past while finding a way forward. I think this was handled greatly as far as the vampire aspect of it and as far as the horror aspect of it, because it just didn't jump out at you with the vampires and everything. It gave you a story that you could feel confident about, that okay, I love these characters, I hope nothing happened to them. And then when something did happen to them, you felt the pain, and then you felt secondary characters' pain, like a character was worried about their family, so you kind of was worried about them too. And then when a character made a stupid mistake, you were like, what are you doing? So it was just like, it grabs you from beginning to end. I was telling people there are a few do not make sense moments in it that kind of made me give it a 4.5-star review instead of a full 5. And it's probably just me nitpicking because it is really a great movie. But when the vampires broke into the juke joint, there were 6 people in there. Only 6 people in there. But when they broke in and all the chaos happened, you start seeing a whole lot of people getting attacked. So I was like, where did all those people come from? There was only 6 people in there to begin with. And then another scene that got me was when Smoke, when he jumped down, when Sammy jumped down at the end to go run away, he jumped a good distance. And when he hit the ground, he made a noise, he stumbled, whatever. He didn't just jump and run off. And then when Michael B. Jordan's character jumped down, he had to make noise too somehow. So all the vampires were standing outside. Why they didn't see him running up to, do what he did at the end? So it's just nitpicky because it is really a 5-star movie. And like I said, if you haven't seen it by now, even though we're talking about it, go see it anyway, because once you see it once, you'll realize how great it is. But when you see it again, you realize you missed so much more to it. So that is my take on that. And like I said, it is a great, great film. Everybody needs to go see it. Many cultural aspects, I've seen so many people take and break it down in so many ways, from the 7 deadly sins to deeper thoughts into the Bible to just atheism. Like, it's just so many aspects of this movie I've heard from people, and it's you can watch it and take it everywhere you want to. I can't hear you.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties over here. But my bad, y'all. So what I was saying was that the first time I got to see this movie, I was like really excited about it. At first, I'm like, I didn't really get to.
Can't hear you again.
Oh my God. Sorry, y'all. This is just like driving me nuts. I don't know why my stuff just keeps going in and out. I don't know. It's weird. Let me see something. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry. I don't know why. I'm having issues over here. So give me a second, y'all. My bad. Sorry. We'll be able to edit this out.
Yeah, I hope
we'll be able to edit this part out.
You heard me and everything I said, right? And all that.
Yeah, I heard everything you said.
Oh, okay.
You were perfect, so my bad. Okay, now, all right, let's try this again. All right, so like I was saying, the first time I get to see this film, I didn't have a chance to actually break everything down because I was just really excited to see this film because I've always been a fan of Michael B. Jordan. I became a fan of Ryan Coogler, very early on in his career. Mind you, y'all, this is like his fifth movie. I think it is. I want to say because he did Creed, which was a part of the franchise. That's a spinoff. You got Black Panther, which is is a superhero film. Then of course Fruitball Station, that was based on somebody. And then you have Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever, and then of course you have Sinners. So yeah, his fifth film, and this man's not even 40 yet, and he's literally showing us like he's like one of the best that's doing it right now. And the fact that he's like having a chance to give us something original that's not from an IP or like a spinoff or anything of the sort. So for him to give us something as great as Sinners, it's like I applaud this man because this is like a movie to me that's really complex and it has like a lot of layers, like you said. And I feel like some of them ideas that he had played in this film probably went over people's head like a lot because it's like they probably are not understanding it. And like you said, like this film shows you like what Black people went through, but not just only Black people. You were seeing like what the Irish people went through, like what the just like Chinese, like, and just seeing like this different world. I mean, like we've seen it before, but not like at this level because it was just crazy. Like in certain scenes where like when Smoke went into town, it was like getting everything ready. Where he first went to Bo and Grace's store in town. And it was funny because even I didn't catch it, I think, until maybe the second time. It's like you see their daughter, Grace, walking across the street because they have two different stores because one side's for the Blacks, one side is for the whites. So it's like all them kind of details and stuff like that. And like with like the cotton fields and just seeing like how these people live their lives, but their lives weren't, I guess you could say, theirs. Like they still weren't free. So for these two men played amazingly by Michael B. Jordan, which blew my mind because it's like this is one person. This is literally one person. But he plays these characters so well, you believe that there is actually two of these people. Like you were actually believe that these two are twins. because he was that good at it. And it's like, even though he's been in the game for like over 10 years now, and it's probably even longer, in his career is like this right here, I think is like his career like breakthrough performance right here for me. Like
Mm-hmm.
he killed it. Like he absolutely killed it because you could tell who was smoking, you could tell who was stacked. Even just with the clothing alone, it's like still you could just tell who was who. Just like I said, like the little details, like because with Smoke, he's just like an Irishman, like the whole like with the whole hat and everything, like the what is it like the newsboys hat, I think they call it, and then it's like you got Stack who's dressed like an Italian, like with the hat and like the 3-piece suit, and just it's just like those little details you could just tell it's like okay, this like these are who they are running with before
Yeah.
we before we're introduced to them, so we know what kind of life they have lived, and it's like and of course, it's like you can't have one without the other, which I love as well too. It's like you can't help but to have them together, but when they're separate, you can actually see how they work when they're not
Yeah.
like like attached to the hip. But I think with this film, it does show like everything that's kind of still going on like now, like how they came from Chicago and made their way back to Mississippi, and when they like pick up Sammy and he's like, oh, he's like, I hear like, the black man is free up there in Chicago. And
Yeah.
I want to say it was Stack who says it, where he says that it's still Jim Crow, just buildings and concrete. It's
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
the same thing. It's just it's like a culture shock. It's just a different, like a different atmosphere, but it's still the same things that's going on. It's just not as blatantly in your face as it is in the South. And also, I just love the fact that they came back home just so they can have something of their own. Like, even though the money's not theirs, okay, who cares? Like, half the stuff that they have is not theirs, but they're
Yeah.
making it so that their people can have something, even if it's for a night or for a week or a month, because it's like they just wanted something that they could call their own. Like, that was like the main thing. It's like they want something they can call their own, and for one night, they could be free. So that's why I love the fact, like with the movie, it just shows you like how the day progresses. Like so, like you said with the characters, it's like you got to know who these people are to get
Exactly.
to that point. So it's like you have to know everybody. You got to know what's the rundown. Like how do they know this person? Like how are they connected? And it's like everybody's connected because it's like one community. So, but my thing was that I love the most about it is when Jack O'Connell comes through as Remick, as the Irish
Uh-huh.
vampire. And I love the fact that he's not any kind of vampire. He's an Irish vampire. Like that's definitely something that they're trying to let you know. Like, and that's why I love the whole racism part behind it because it's like, okay, he's an Irishman. When they came over here, they didn't like Irish people. They didn't like them because it's like famine and like they're bringing all these diseases, blah blah blah. So of
Yeah.
course it's like they're going through the same, like they're going through the same rotation as black people, but just not as like, as like traumatic as what we go through. So for them to like kind of like throw that whole detail in there, like when they finally get to the juke joint after they hear Sammy perform. And that, Stack was just straight up with them and he was like, not Stack, Smoke was like, y'all clan. He was offended by him by calling them the clan because it's like no, we
Yeah.
ain't clan. Like, we're here for fellowship and love. Like, but in a sense, when you think about it, he still is like holding them, he's still holding them hostage in that sense because it's like just because you're saying, oh, you can be with us and be free from everything, they're still not free because he's their maker. So it's like it still wouldn't work like for them to be free because they wouldn't be free.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be free from their souls because of the fact that they're vampires. So I just love like there's just like so much to chew on. But like I wanted to talk about the whole or the whole scene, like you said, it's the musical, like the montage when Sammy starts singing,
Yeah.
and like they said in the beginning, where they said that how did they put it when they said that when they
Oh,
open up it
sometimes a voice can raise spirit. Yeah.
yeah
Can
when
open
it's
up a
like you
pathway
can
to
just
the other side or something.
right. That part. And it was just like because it's like, yeah, it's like you're opening that, you're opening up that portal for, all the ancestors to come through, but then also you can bring something in that you don't want to bring in,
Yeah.
which is Remick. And so I just love that whole scene where it's like he's singing so soulfully, and then it's like he opens up that portal where the ancestors come through, and then all of a sudden it's like we're going into the future, like the past, present,
Yeah.
and on. And so it was just the way it blended so like beautifully, like it worked. It because it was just like at first I was like, what is the scene? Because I was like kind of confused, and then it's like as it progressed, it was like okay, it's like now I get what he's trying to say. I'm not gonna lie, because the second time I saw it, I did cry at that scene because it was
Yeah.
so beautifully done. And then the fact that he got to use that actual metaphor of the roof is on fire and they let the whole juke burn. I
Yeah.
love the most because we always say that it's like the roof is on fire. So it was just the fact that he got to play that out on the big screen was phenomenal to me. I thought that was like very just grand, and on that kind of scale, it was just beautiful because it's like I don't know if like a lot of people understood that scene, but it's like I understood it, and it
Yeah.
was just like and it just worked. And so I also love the fact that, like you were saying with Delroy Lindo, the scene where like Delta Slim, Stack, and Sammy, when they're like on their way, to get, I think it's cornbread, and
Yeah.
Delta Slim is just talking about him and his brother and like what happened and like that like traumatic experience that his brother went through. And before he broke down, all he did was he just started, humming, and then it was like he just broke into a song, which I love because that's
Hmm.
what we do. Like if we go through something traumatic and we like start talking about it, and then it's just like we just start breaking out into like songs, like it just puts us in a better mood. So it's like I totally understood where he came from when he did that. I also love the fact that that scene was improvised, that he did that, and they were getting ready to cut it. But I'm glad that they talked it out and left it in there because that was
Yeah.
also one of the best scenes in the film as well.
Yeah, it's a key aspect of who he is and his backstory. Like, because all through the movie, we just see him as a drunk who can play good piano or harmonica, whatever. But that lets us know that he has he has a whole nother aspect to him.
Right.
So you can see like maybe that is the reason that he became such a strong drunk. Like maybe he was trying to do right, but then he that part of life hit him so hard he became a drunk, but he still held on to his musical talent.
Yeah, I love that. And then also, without saying, we got to talk about Sammy Miles Canton because this was like his very first role.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
this being his very first role, like the young man killed it. I'm like, he sounds like an old soul. Even when he speaks, he sounds like an old soul. So just to like hear that voice that comes out of him, it's just like it's amazing. But just to see him play this role, like so well. It was just like you got to give him praise because he does such a good job, especially with who he's in this film with. It's like you already
Exactly.
got some vets in there, and he's the newbie coming in, and he held it on his own just with everyone else, which I thought was phenomenal.
Yeah, and he definitely had the right director as far as Ryan Coogler, and he had
Right,
the right, Delroy Lindo, Michael B. Jordan, and that he big names who already done did it for a while to let him show, And I'm sure he made plenty of mistakes doing the movie, and I'm sure because it's his first time. But like I said, he definitely had the right cast and director to guide him into the great performance he did give.
great. And then I also have to give a shout out to the ladies as well. It's like you can't talk about the men without talking about the ladies. So like of course I'm always been a fan of Wami. I'm gonna say her last name. I'm probably gonna butcher it, but I know her first name is Wami,
You
and
can't do no worse than I
It's
did.
Masuku. I want to say it's Masaku. Either way, Annie as Wami as Annie as Smoke's estranged wife. This woman is amazing. Like I fell in love with her the very first time I saw her was in Lovecraft Country, and then of course she was on Loki, and then
Hmm.
Deadpool versus Wolverine. But just to be able to see her play this character, someone who is strong and resilient, someone who is dark skinned and full figured, and she is playing someone's love interest. And I love the fact that she like she's getting her chance to shine because I'm like it's rare to see a dark skinned full figured woman getting her chance to shine like she did in this film. And what really just irked my nerves is like when I be online and I'll be going down my timeline on Twitter and people are talking about why did I think that she was playing his mom? Like, why did I think that was his mom? And I was like, okay, did y'all not watch the trailer and see that these two kissed in the trailer and the way they were
Yeah.
kissing, that is not mom and son. Like, that is husband and wife. Like, they kicking it. Like, Like, what are we doing here? Like, that's what
Yeah.
drives me insane because, like you said, we're so stuck in that that world of what's beautiful and what's not. And they thinking, oh, a light skinned, skinny, white, light skinned, skinny black girl, like that's who, that's what we're looking for. And it's like, no, I'm like, all women come in shape, all different shapes, shades, colors, and sizes. Like, we're not just one particular look. So that's why I love that she was like full front center.
Yeah.
And so, and I love the fact that she was the one who knew everything because she was a hoodoo practitioner. So she was
Yeah.
all into that. So the fact that she was the one who broke it down to them, like, no, this ain't a haint, this is a vampires. And it's like, and I
Yeah.
just love that she knew everything, like what to do instead of just being like, okay, so like, what are we dealing with? At least somebody in that juke joint knew what they were dealing with and what they need to do.
Exactly.
So, and then also what I loved about it as well is like with the scene with when it's Remick and then the other two is like Bert and Joan who he turned when he finds out that
Hmm.
they're the plan. And I just love the scene where they're like singing. I think the song's like "Pick Poor Robin Queen," and it's like
Uh,
I'm like listening to the words, and I'm like, is nobody else like understanding what they're saying right now? It's like they're like, we're gonna pick poor Robin Queen. I was just like, and it's like when I hear that Jay Bird thing, I was like, hold on, it is.
exactly. Because I was like, are they singing about eating a person? Like,
I
but
was
then
like,
I,
huh? And then and it's just funny because like Smoke wasn't feeling it, but Stack was like getting into it because that would be me. I'd just be sitting there just like, okay, I'm like, y'all sound kind of good. Like, hold on. But I
yeah,
just love the
Stack was
fact
jamming to it.
and Smoke was like, I'm not feeling it. It is like, but wait, it's like if they say they got money, that's what they were looking for was the money part. But
Yeah.
what I loved about it is that scene where it's like they're letting them know like you can go down the street. It's like y'all. It's like that's where y'all people are at. But then, like Remick said, he was like, "Is it he like rubbed his hand? It was like, is it because of our color?" And then that's when I love when he pointed behind them. It was like looking at Mary. He was like, "How did she get in here?" And I was like, and that's what's so funny about it because it's like even though it was like he's funny to me, I was like, but I think like Jack O'Connell just did like an amazing job as Remick because even though he was sinister and scary, the dude was also funny. Like it was just
Yeah.
some of the stuff he was saying, like when he said he was like, y'all clean, and he was just like so flabbergasted. He was like, sir, like
I
that
know,
man was hurt.
like
He
you
was
were
like,
like, I might be a vampire, I might eat and kill people, but the clan,
but
don't put that on me.
like
I'm
Black
a,
Lives Matter, my brother. Like,
I might be a spawn of the devil, but the clan, don't
oh,
like,
don't ever say that about me. It's like I don't associate with them folks. It's like, what? That would make that whole scene funny to me. But I just love the fact that when you have someone who is married and she's someone who's 1/8 black and she's passing and but all she knows is this community because her mom
yeah,
was half black. She don't know nothing else. So it's like how they got to her was like a perfect way to do it because it's like all she's trying to do is find her place of acceptance, trying to find her place of love. Like she just wants to be somewhere where she knows she can be loved. And she felt
yeah,
like she could be loved there. But like it shows, Stack tried to push her away because it's like, y'all ain't gonna be able to be together because he's like, you black, you're white. So it's like I'm just gonna push you off onto this white man, like have a life, but it's like that's not the kind of life she wanted. But it's like
yeah,
in that times, it's like they could do that. They could get away with passing and like and try and live like a normal life without being called out for it. So that's why
yeah,
I also loved about that too. It's like you also have that side of that lifetime of you have these black women who would pass. So that's why I thought another one too is like you have these people on online talking about well they should have had Journey Smollett be married. It's like do y'all understand why she had to be married to play passing? If we look at this woman Journey Smollett who will play Mary, we will know that she is black. Like we can look
right,
at her and
exactly,
tell she is black. But when you look at Haley Stanfield, who is 1/8 black, and she don't look it, we gonna go this way. Like we're gonna go that way. Like you have to look the part. So, but it's like I just love the fact that the only way to get this thing started was to send Mary out there because, of course, with Smoke and Stack having this juke joint, they need the money. They need the money to keep it open because they only have the money that they have to, start it all up. So
yeah,
when you have your own people coming through, they don't have no money. They giving away stuff that they can, that could be like a debt or whatever, because it's like they gotta understand like they people ain't living like how they were living up in Chicago. They still struggling and hustling down there. So for Stack and Annie to tell Smoke, like, just give them this one night. Just give them this one night just to have a good time, just to be free. Let them drink, let them eat, let them, dance until the night, until the night's over. So for them to then have Mary go out there with Stack, because it's like he already know that they're gonna be struggling for money. So the easy way to get in, use Mary. And it kind of sucked that you had to use Mary to get in there, because we ain't gonna go out there and be like, yo, like, what y'all got for money?
Exactly. She fitted in. She fitted in better with them. Like you said, you can't send cornbread out there.
Yeah,
or
like, what y'all got?
Exactly. They needed that same, like, you Irish, I'm white, so we we more alike than if they sent, like you said, like I said, cornbread out there or something. Right. So it did suck that she had to go out there and be the one, but I completely understood why.
Right. But my nitpick was with cornbread. It's like, all right, nigga. It's like, you knew. It's like, if you got to go to the bathroom, my guy, why do you have to go up around the corner, down the street, around the bend, just to go to the bathroom? He could have just went like right around the corner where he was sitting at and used the bathroom.
Exactly.
This man walked a mile and a half away just to use, like, really? I was like, that right there pissed me all the way off.
Went to the next county.
Started crossing swamps and all that. It's like, bro, all you had to do was just move like 5 feet. Just that's the thing that drove me insane. It's like, why did he walk so far away to use the bathroom?
Exactly.
That right there,
he just set himself.
He for real set himself up. That part right there, I was just like, I'm just sitting there, just like, why though? Why? But I guess I can understand it, but still, it was just a dumb choice. Like, he didn't have to go that far.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Not at all. Not at all.
But also, there was like I said, there was like stuff that I had missed before. So
yeah.
After they got Mary back in there, and Mary basically got Stack into the room and turned him.
Yeah.
I did not realize after the fact when Stack turned and he was in there and they were talking to him, I did not realize that this man said, y'all got a pimp locked up in here, now open the door. I was like, I did not hear him call himself a pimp until the second time I watched it. I was like, did this man just call himself a pimp? I was
like, oh yeah, that's him. Let him out.
He all right. Open up the door. Just let him go through. And that part right there, I cannot stop laughing because he literally, because the first time I seen it, I don't think I heard him say that part, because I don't know how I missed it, but either way, It was still great when I heard it the second when I saw it the second time, I heard it the first time, because it was just like, I was like, did he really just call himself a pimp?
like he quoting 50 Cent. Go ahead and let him out.
I was like, he all right.
That's my brother.
But also when you said the same thing about like when like at the end when Sammy jumps out and he lands and it's like, okay, it's like we understand he hurt because he limping, but like you said, it's like, how did Smoke get down there? Like, what did the stack like, okay, I'm gonna help you down and then I'm gonna run off. Like how did that part work? Because it's like,
exactly,
I don't mean to nitpick.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said.
It's like, I don't mean to nitpick because I gave the movie 5 stars now, 5 stars. But like that, I understood that because I was like, I'm like, how did he get down there? Because I'm like, we didn't see him jump. So I was like, did he?
But we saw Sammy jump, so we already knew.
So it's like, how did he get down?
When Sammy hit the ground, he made noise because it was like a thud. And when Michael B. Jordan jumped down, all the vampires were standing maybe 15 feet from him. So I'm like, what they do? Just look at him jump down and look at him walk over there? Like, nobody said anything.
So that's what I'm thinking. Like, maybe Stack helped Smoke down. That's all I could think of. Because I was like,
but they was down there. Stack and Mary was gone already. Remember, they had already ran off into the night. So,
but remember, like towards like at the end, where it's like that ending credit when he told when Stack older Sammy, he said he was like, the only way he kept me alive is if I left you alone. So I'm thinking because they were in that together in that spot, so it just makes me wonder maybe Stack did have him down. Because I'm like, because I don't see this man trying to run down the steps, because I was like, wasn't the place on fire? No, it wasn't on fire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He
it was on
definitely
fire.
just
It's like
run
he
down the
wasn't going
stairs.
down no damn steps because it's
Yeah.
like there's all them vampires down there. It's like he ain't so that's why I was like, I don't mean to nitpick. I don't want to nitpick. Where it's like, yeah, it's like how did he get down there?
Another nitpick that I had, Mary turned and she was already inside the building.
Mm-hmm.
Smoke turned, or Stack turned, and he was already in the building. Why they didn't just stand there and kill everybody? Why they run back out? Like, I don't
Because the reason why I think was that the reason why he had to run out is because he wasn't invited as a vampire. He was turned in there, but like but
oh
like
yeah,
like Annie said, she was like, we got to move the body outside. Like she was trying to tell Smoke we have to move the body outside, but he was like no one could
yeah,
touch him. So that's why he ran outside because he really wasn't supposed to be in there unless he's invited in. That's why it's like
yeah.
they have to be invited in. And so that's why, okay, let's get to that part because like when everybody gets turned, and like you said, it's like only a few of them in there, and they find out that they're actual vampires. And you have Bo. That was another thing. That's another thing too that drove me insane is when Bo walked off. It was like, I'm gonna go get the car. I was like, why is
Get
the
the
car
guard.
so far away? I'm like, why do y'all
Right.
walk so far? I'm like, what are we doing? But anyway, when he got turned and he was like, telling his wife, to like, come on, like he was like, we gotta go, Grace, and she's like, we can't leave, because it's like, don't you see like cornbread's like eating this man's face right now, and,
Exactly.
and
He was
he's
just
like,
talking.
he was just like, he's like, it's all right. He's like, let's just go, and it's just like, dog,
He
what?
literally said, oh, he's just hungry. Like, what? Like, this is okay.
Like he's eating a man's face, and you find this all right? Like that's absolutely humane. Like, okay, my brother, but but this is the one that got like I get where people were coming from when like Grace was trying to leave and she was just like, I need to get back to my daughter because it's like this man knows
Yeah.
my daughter, like he knows everything, like I gotta go, and they're like, no, you need to stay here. We need to hold out until into the morning time, and then people are pissed off at the fact that she invited them in, but my thing is this: we had to get we had to get it going. Like there was like, what they
Yeah.
gonna hold out at until morning time? Like no, someone was gonna have to let them in. So of course, you got this man speaking to you in Chinese, telling you he knows how like how you like for someone to eat, to go down on you, and then they
Yeah.
telling you all this about your daughter. It's like, okay, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be angry. I want to get to my child. So I get where she was coming from. So for people to be like attacking her, it's like, don't y'all get it? I'm like, I understand it completely.
I don't get why the other people around her didn't do a better job of stopping her from doing that. Like, if I'm there and I know the situation, like you said, I understand, I empathize with her, but I'm tying her up, I'm gagging her, and I'm putting her in the closet somewhere because you're just gonna have to wait till the morning. Like, I'm
But
sorry,
I
but
was
like you
like,
said, I understand.
yeah, because it's like we ain't gonna have no action if we don't get them
Yeah,
in this, in this juke joint. So,
and when all the chaos started, and when her husband went outside, it was kind of predictable that okay, she's gonna be the one. But it, like you said, it completely makes sense. Like you said, it had to be her. It had to kick off and everything.
and then I also love the fact that because you do have twins, so you have Smoke and Stack. So when Stack got turned in that scene where it's like they're talking and Ribbon gets telling him like, "Yo," he's like this land that y'all on is clan land. Like this was never y'all, your land to begin
Yeah,
with. And so it's like when they gave their money to what was it? Yeah, Hogwood. And when they asked him, they were like, "Are you clan?" And he's like, "There ain't no clan around here." It's like, dog, why are you sitting here lying to us like we don't know? Like we in Mississippi, there's clan. Like you
exactly.
can't be just sitting here telling us, "Oh, I ain't no clan man." Like, bro, like stop it. But I just love the fact that they broke that part down. They're letting us know, like, yeah, like y'all were never gonna be able to keep this. Like in the morning, they were gonna kill, they were gonna kill you all. So it's just like, well, damn, it's like they trying to own something for themselves and they still can't do it.
And they
So,
can't. Yeah,
and that's why I love the fact, like, like towards the end, it's like, Smoke is taking back, what is theirs. Like he like wiped all the men out by himself. Which is
yeah,
like I just love. It's just like I just love stuff like that when we get to, just we just get to take away, and take back. But also I like the fact that Stack, like you can see the dynamic between Smoke and Stack. When Stack got turned, Smoke was like, you see it. The man was devastated. Like, that's my brother. Like, that's my twin. Like, you can't have one without the other. Like
Yeah.
Stack said, even though it wasn't really his brother, it was just his brother's personality. Like Stack sat there and told Smoke, he's like, there is no you without me. He's like, I can't do this on my own. And you can see in his Smoke's face, like, he wanted to reach out for his brother. Like, he wanted to go out there and be with his brother. Like,
Oh
he
yeah.
was getting ready to be like, all right. He's like, go ahead and bite me, dog. It's like, it's me and you against the world. You know what I mean? So, but it's like, he couldn't do it because of the fact that it's like, with them in the life that they had, it's like their life was full of evil. Like they had to deal with
Yeah.
their daddy, they had to deal with the war, they had to deal with like the draw, like the Jim Crow in Mississippi, and probably in the war and in Chicago. So it's just like it was almost like he didn't want to keep living his life. That's why he wanted Sammy to like don't follow the way that we live. He's like,
Yeah.
live another life. He's like, live something safe, live something normal. He's like, don't follow the blues. Like his father said, it's like you're gonna keep. How do you say? He's basically telling him, it's like you're gonna keep singing and you're gonna let the devil in, which is
Yeah.
what he did. But it's like I just still love the fact that even though Sammy he did grow. He grew up into a older blues singer. Even though it wasn't the life they wanted for him, that was the life that he wanted for himself, and he still got to have that life. But also what I loved about it too is like younger Sammy, he was more styled like Stack, like especially like with the hat and everything and like how it looked. And then
Uh-huh.
older Sammy, he was more like Smoke. He was more
Yeah.
different and he was like more cool, calm, and it's like you could tell by the colors. Like he was in a blue suit, he had his Newsy Boy hat on, and then it just worked out perfectly. So it's like this film is like it's amazing. Like we don't need to touch it. We don't need a sequel. We don't. But I will say this though. If we could have something to go with, I would love to know more about the Indians. I would love to know more about the Choctaws. Like when they
Yeah.
came in, I love that whole part when they came in and they were like, "Look," and it's like there's a bad man out here. It's like we just trying to let you know, like it's like let us in, and it's like we can get them out, and it's just like, and they were like, nope. There's like we ain't got nobody here, and they were like, well, peace to you, lady, and they dipped.
Exactly. They
They
saw
just
that
straight up
they saw that
dipped.
sun going down a little bit, and they was like, okay, sundown, we out.
It's
We are
like, bye.
gone.
It's like, all right, you want to fuck around and find out? You about to find out. Because also, what I loved about it too in that scene is like, did you notice? It's like there was buzzards flying around the
Uh-huh.
house.
Fine
And
on,
I
yep.
love that because it's like letting you know, I'm like, there's death in that house. So it's like letting you further know, like, this is all bad. Like, y'all about to die. And it's like, and y'all let this man in here. But hey, it's like,
In that
y'all want to
scene,
be
in
helpful.
that scene when in that scene when Remick killed the two and turned them, I like how Coogler showed us that they were bad people. Like
Yes.
these are clan people. Because when Remick ran in the house, I was like, oh man, he gonna kill these people. Then I saw that, I was like, all right, go ahead, go ahead, and knock
Yep.
him out.
I was like, I
That's
don't
fine.
care. Go ahead,
Like,
just
yeah,
take him
yeah,
out. I'm
no
like, I
worries.
don't care. And then I
But I
also,
heard
yeah,
some.
go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead.
No,
I
go
said
ahead.
I heard somebody else say, well, there's multiple people saying about the Choctaw and everything, and yeah, I agree on that. But if we were to get another one, like I would like to see what went on in Chicago with Capone and the smoke and Stack and all that kind of, and how they stole all the liquor because they stole it from two different sides. The
Right. They had the
Italian,
Italian
they,
one and then the Irish
yeah,
beer. It's like,
yeah. I would like to see how they swung that.
yeah, because it's like they already had the truck already down there in Mississippi. Like they had
Yeah,
everything set and ready to go. Like it's like that's why I love the fact that it's like okay, so because even Mary says something about it because she said something I think to Stack. She's like, how long do you think they're gonna realize before like that you stole from them? Like because
exactly.
eventually they were gonna find out, but it don't matter anyway because it's like you got one that's already dead, another one that's already dead, but a vampire. So it's
Yeah,
like they ain't gonna get that back. Like they're not gonna get it back at all. But I also love the fact that in that scene as well with Remick when we were first introduced to him, it's like I love how it was shot, like how he came jumping down into the scene. So it's almost kind of like
yeah,
in a sense like he's falling from the sky, and I just love the fact that they showed that in that way, and I just love how he just act all innocent and just like all hurt, and then the next time we see him, this man got a mouthful of teeth and some jacked up claws. It's like this man is just like, just sitting there all calm, got his legs crossed, talking about
Yeah.
He's like, don't worry, he's all better now. It's like, this man, like, just, it's just the way he just,
And a small detail,
yeah.
I said a small detail of when he jumped into the scene. Did you notice he was smoking? Like his
Yeah,
body was smoking from the heat. So that kind of
yeah.
that I like that attention to detail too, because I was like,
He was already
how is
starting to
he out in the
burn.
sun? But
Yeah.
it's showing that, it's showing that he's not supposed to be out in the sun. He just circumstances made him. So yeah, I like that small
Yeah.
attention to detail.
I like that too because it's like this man. Because I was like, did you realize that this man is smoking right now? Because it's like, did they not realize this man is still he's still kind of burnt and
Exactly.
crispy going on? It's like y'all not noticing this. But also, and I also love the fact like at the end too is like when he finally gets Sammy to himself and he like and Sammy just takes that guitar and like cracks it at it. He's just like shit. It's just like how is this man like a sinister vampire, but also he be having funny moments.
Yeah, because one of the funniest moments of Remick is when they did that Irish folk dance and everybody was out there just dancing.
I
That
love that
that
scene
scene took me
so
all the way
much.
out.
I love that scene. I love that scene so much. And I didn't think I was gonna love the Dusty Road to Dublin. Like I was not expecting to
Yeah,
feel that song the way I did, but the way they had them 808s in the back just booming, it was just
right. And
like oh,
just Jack O'Connell just there in the middle doing the little Irish jig and everything, and just that showed a different, like a fun, a fun
it was
different
like
aspect.
chaotic. It was just like
Yeah,
crazy chaotic
because
and like
every and it showed how connected they all were, because they were all out there jamming in a circle, and I was just like, wow. But I think that scene is not talked about enough, because that
right.
shows that brings out the Irish aspect of it. Like he is a Irishman, or used to be an Irishman, and he's been for a while.
Exactly.
So
And that's what I loved about that scene so much because it was like it kind of like you said, it like threw me too because I was like, wait a minute. Because like I think they had put somebody out. Yeah, they put somebody out that they thought got bitten but didn't get bit.
yeah,
And then like Sammy and Smoke were standing there and he was like, and Sammy was like, listen. He's like, they're singing. And it was like when they go into that scene, I was like, wait, what? I was like, they really are breaking out into this song. And it's like, I've heard this song so many times. But for it to be modernized was like kind of great. I don't know. I'm not even gonna lie. I probably listened to this song like a bunch of times, like ever since the movie came out. Like it's like the score has in the soundtrack. It's like been like on my top of 2025 so far. But
yeah,
but I just love the fact that Jack O'Connell he knew how to Irish jig
yeah,
because he even talked about it and said like the choreographer was like didn't know what to do, and when they found out what like knowing that he could do it, he knew that the choreographer was happy because it's like oh good I ain't got to do nothing because I don't know what I'm doing.
yeah. I heard him say that in an interview, that he came in knowing the steps already.
And so I just love the fact that they threw that part in there, and as chaotic and crazy that it was, it fit because it, like you said, because with Remy being Irish, and that was their way of to celebrate. It's like that was their way of doing it. And so
Yeah,
it just like seeing everybody jamming in the background, and even Cornbread, because every time they would show Cornbread, everybody would start laughing, and it was just like I was like, I get it, but I was like, that whole scene was just perfectly done from doing the scene from, the musical montage and the juke joint to going to that scene outside. It was just,
yeah.
yeah, those are probably like my top two favorite scenes in that in that movie, which deals with music.
And I think that scene showed that they didn't have a care. Like they know what they are. They know that he's been doing this forever. He can wait it out. Like I'm gonna win eventually, so I can just dance the jig and have fun out here. But eventually, you're gonna be a part of this, so no worries. Let me just have a little fun. So that was crazy too.
I love that scene like a lot. And then I'm happy because I think you were the first one to tell me. I think you were the first one to tell me. You told me there was two
Oh
credits,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
yep,
you were the
uh
one who
huh.
told me that because I only knew there was one, and then I ended up leaving and didn't see
Oh
that second one. So I was like, damn, I'm like, I
yeah,
missed it. So the second time I knew, I was like, okay, I'm like, stick around till the credits are completely done because there's one more scene.
yeah,
I was like, I didn't know there was another scene. But that first scene I loved because it's like we get to see older Sammy. He has his own his own blues club. But what I
yeah,
also loved about it is that it was named Perlene's. And Pearline, which I did not even talk about Pearline, Jamie Lawson, mine, I love her. She was so good in this
Mm-hmm.
movie. As as the singer and someone that Sammy becomes smitten with, and it's just crazy how
Yeah.
within one night of him knowing her, and then because of course of like what happens to her, it's like he's kind of
Yeah.
like holding on to her memory, which I love, and I just love the fact that he did that, and it's like an remembrance to her, and in the night that they had together, even though it ended terribly,
Yeah.
but he just has that little piece
Absolutely.
even though he just has that little piece of of her to remember the good times they did have. But it was just funny
Yeah.
how everybody was just talking about. They were like, "Was Pearline really married?" They were like, everybody's like, "I wonder if her husband's waiting for her to come home and not knowing that she's coming
Yeah, because
home."
I was like, I don't know who Pearlie's husband is, but just do you, King. Don't even
Yeah,
worry about
just live your life,
Yeah,
dog. Like she ain't coming home. I'm sorry.
she got
That's what I
ate up
think.
twice in one night. Like, like no, don't just do you, King, because it's a wrap.
Oh my god! Because I thought that was too funny. Because I was like, is she really married, or did she just say that just to say that to get that boy out of her face? But it still didn't
Yeah,
matter.
because
But
why
I
she
was
didn't? You would think she would have said, "My husband gonna come with me."
right. So that's why I was like, okay. And then she showed up, and her husband wasn't there. So it's just like, okay, lady. So were you lying? Like, it's okay. Because I know women.
Yeah,
I've done it myself. I don't care. I've said some stuff to men just to get them out of my face too. So I totally get that she did that. But still, it's just the fact that why would you tell that boy you were
yeah.
married? Because everybody gonna be talking about, was she really married? Like where was her husband at? Like where was Perline's husband? I want to know, was that a
Exactly.
real man or not? Like I just want that answered for me real quick. Like did she really have a husband? Oh my god.
And she killed it with her little singing part on the stage and everything. She
I
she
oh,
she did her thing on that part.
I love that song, Pale Pale Moon. That whole scene was
Yeah,
like really good. And I have to say this without going because, like, with the music, because it's like music is a big aspect in this movie. So
yeah,
when you got Ludwig Göransson, who is an Oscar-winning composer, the man has won two times. The first time was for Black Panther, and the second one was for Oppenheimer. But this man works consistently with Ryan Coogler, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Coogler and Göransson are like Jordan and Pippen of film and music. Like when they get
yeah,
together, it's like they just make magic. And I think with this one, I'm like, if he doesn't like get any kind of praise or like any kind of like, even though I'm just like the kind of person, I'm like, I don't watch movies just to be like, oh, they need to, they need awards, they need this, they need that. But this for him to be able to mix the sound of blues from the past and then to be able to just to intertwine like modern music from the yesteryear to like today and like the future is like he knows his craft. Like this man
yeah,
knows how to make the music work. Like it's like you can feel it in every single scene, especially when we are first introduced to Smoke and Stack. Like that whole scene right there with the opening and then the music, and it's just like that country little twang, and then there's like a couple of times where you can hear the guitar get a little bit more rowdy, and then like the bass gets louder. Like just everything about this film, it was just
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, like I said, the music is its own character in this. And usually when you have a good score, it's just that. It's a good score and but in this, you look at it as its own character. You just have to because it elevates so much of the past
Right.
and the present, and then it
Mm-hmm.
elevates their backstory. Like you just hear
Right.
somebody's backstory a little bit, and then you hear some music, and it just adds to it. So it's its own character in itself, and that
Right.
is amazing. He definitely deserves something for this.
So I'm like, I just this film is just no, it's like it's just so much. It's like and then there was another thing that I found out and it just like blew my mind when I found out about this because I was just like, dog, it's like how much did Coogler like put into this? Because he like made a mention of with Smoke and Stack. He said that Smoke or not Smoke, he said Stack was the one that would put out Smoke's clothes. Like he would put his clothes together for him, he would do his hair for him. Like that, like their bond right there is like they said, it's like there is no you without me. It's like I can't live
Yeah.
without the other. So it was just like dumb little bitty things. Like he said that this is what they like, this is how they work. And then on top of that, like with what scene was it? There's a what was it? I just drew a blank. Like, okay, here it is. Like the scene where it was like when they're on the back of the truck and they flip it back and it's a snake. And
Right.
it's
Yep.
like And it's like the one brother had the knife, he threw it to the other brother and stabbed it. It's just like how Stacks rolled was like rolling smoking cigarettes, and then he like handed it all to him and like and he lit it. And that's another thing too that I loved about that scene. Like when we were first introduced to Smoking Stack, it's like that whole scene was very flawless. Like because it's like I said, it's one person, and he's just doing like the duality of these two characters. So to watch them do that scene where they like take the cigarette from each other, it's like you can't even tell that was fake. It looks so flawless that you will believe that it was two of them there. That's how I'm just like this movie is just phenomenal all the way out. Because
And that whole snake scene, besides scaring me to death because I'm terrified of snakes, it showed me that Smoke was the one that was more grown up than Stack, being as Smoke was prepared with the knife, and he threw the knife to Stack, showing that okay, here I got your back. Here I'll take care of you. Like I'll take care of you because without me that snake would have bit you. But here's the knife. Take care of it. And that's why he told Sammy, this boy don't know how to watch himself, so you watch him or something. So that showed me. That's why if Smoke had been the one that died, this whole movie would have went to pieces. It would have been over with in no time because because Stack was like he was smart and everything, but he was more of the fun loving, go with the flow, just do whatever.
yeah,
And Stack was the okay, we gotta take care of business. We gotta always be on our P's and Q's. So that's what that scene definitely showed me early on in the movie.
and also it's like I didn't even realize it, and I don't know why I didn't realize it because it's like you got Smoke who's wearing blue, and then you got Stack that's wearing red. And when you think of blue, you think cool, calm, collected, and when you think red, you think vibrant. You think just wow, just very
Like a
vibrant, very
like a
intense,
bull.
like exactly. So that's how you get. There's ways to tell them differently, and then like I love the scene where it was like when they're in the juke joint with Hogwood and they're talking, and it's like you just see like one brother just like slow, like it was Stat where he just like slowly made his way around Hoghead, and it was like he
Uh-huh.
was ready with his hand on the knife, and it's like, and then you have Smoke talking to him, so it's like if they're ready to go to war, these two are ready to go to war. And like they said when they said they should have got the trunk, because I was like, what's the trunk?
Yeah.
And then come to find out when we find out what the trunk is, it's like just all the guns, just everything
They
that they
should have had a
needed. It
couple of
is
them
like,
weapons
and I was
inside the
like, y'all
building.
need it. Exactly. That's why he was like, we should have got the trunk. And she's like, y'all don't need the trunk. It's like, y'all needed the trunk.
Yeah.
So it was perfect. And then, like you said, like when Smoke had Sammy like watch that because like you said, he can't be on his own because it's like he'll just do whatever. And then with Smoke, he's very cool, calm, and collected, but he's the type that you don't want to piss off because those are the
Yeah.
ones you don't want to mess with are the quiet ones. So like that whole scene where he had the little, the girl wash the truck and he came out, he just smooth with it and just shot dude in the ass. It was like,
Exactly.
why you in my truck? And the girl was like, it's like I told him whose truck it was, and it's like I didn't know it was your truck. And then I just love the fact that he shot the other dude. He was like, just for good measure, so like don't mess with my truck and I like that. He's like, y'all just scoot on out the street.
Exactly. He was like, he had to, like, I'm back and you already know my reputation, but you already tested me. So I had to shoot you too. I can't let one slide and the other one not get it. So I love that. And
I love that.
and a scene, it's the end of the movie
Mm-hmm.
that took me out was when unfortunately, Stack got shot. Oh no,
Yeah,
Smoke. I'm sorry. Smoke got
yeah,
shot.
yeah.
And he was with Wam
Yes.
and the baby was there and he was like, can I hold the baby? And she was like, once you put that down and wipe yourself off, basically let go of all that anger and that evil. I don't want
Yep.
that around the baby. Get clean, put the gun down, and
Mm-hmm.
then I'll let you hold him.
Yep.
Like we done been through some mess, but now we at
Yep.
peace. So I like that part of it also.
That scene was very pretty because especially like when you said she's like, go ahead put that out. Like when she said we don't want that smoke around our daughter, and I love
Yeah.
that, and I just love the fact that even when she said it herself, like like right before the whole showdown between them and the vampires, like she was telling Smoke, like don't let me turn because she's like
Yeah.
she didn't want to become evil because it's like she wanted her soul to still be pure. So for that scene to happen, and you can see like he's like having his moment because it's like okay, it's like our guy, he's getting ready to like cross over. It's like his time is here, like it's like coming. So I just love
Yeah.
the fact that he was having that moment, but then it's like Hoghead or Hogwood, he's like laying there dying. He's like, he kind of interrupted that for a moment. So he was like, hold on, like, let me, he was like, he just had to get this one little thing out of his system. He just had to light him up with bullet holes, and it was like, all right, I'm done. Now it's like, give me my baby
Yeah,
so I can go, so I can come
he
home.
emptied everything. He emptied everything into him. He just
It was so crazy. He's like, all he did, he asked that man nicely. He's like, you got a cigarette? That man still was talking. And it's like, dog, you got bullet holes and you still want to talk. Like, it is like all it took was him to
exactly
shoot him one more time. And he was like, it's like here, like then he want to give him a cigarette. It's like, bro, you about to die. Just give him the cigarette.
right. Just give it up.
It's like just let go. And I just love that scene because of the fact that they really thought they did something because they were like, oh, we about to take, we about to take these black people out, and but we had like this time it's like he had to one up because it's like he got that chance because Remick got the told him everything. So because if they didn't know about that, like we would have had a whole different a whole different movie.
Yeah.
So
I like how Remick told them the Klansmen's plans. Like, I'm evil, but you got another evil. Like, I might be evil, but I'm gonna help you deal with another evil that you don't even know about. Because he said we're gonna go attack them too and take out all of
right,
them. So it was like a psychological mind trick. Like, look, I'm
right,
evil, but I'm gonna help you because even if you don't
and
come with me, you're gonna die anyway. So let me just help you out. So
and that's why I like the fact that it's like everybody is a sinner. It doesn't matter like if you're a
yeah,
vampire or human or not. Everybody in some sense is a sinner, and that's why I love the fact that the movie is called Sinners, and it's just and I love the ending. I do. I love the ending because we did get to see Sammy grow like into
mhm,
an older man. He got to live a fulfilling life, even though just that one particular night just changed his life completely. And I also love the fact that we got to see what happened to Stack and Mary because it's like, okay, they didn't. It's like we didn't see them die. Well, we didn't see them die when they were vampires. So it's like, okay,
yeah,
like where are they at? And so for like when we see them walk in, it's like you see stacking his Coogee sweater, and it's like
with the
and her
belly.
door knockers and her lollipop. I was just like, this is nuts. So it's like they made it. I was like, I actually love the fact that somebody did make it, and then the fact that Smoke actually let his brother live. Just he just said, just let Sammy live a life. Like,
Yeah,
don't bother him. Don't touch him. Don't do nothing. Just let him live his life, and I will not kill you. So it just lets you know, even though he knew his brother was a vampire, he still knew in some kind of way his brother was in there somewhere.
yeah,
And I love the fact that they got to see Sammy one last time, even though they were like giving him an out, like, hey, like it's like your time is almost near. It's like we can change that. But he was like, don't want it. He's like, I'm fine with my life how it went because it's like he already knew what kind of life that would have been. Like he would not know peace. So it's
yeah.
like so he was happy with like just like let me have these whatever time I got left on this earth and just let me go. And so and then I just like that he played them a song because when you think about it, it's like that's really like the era that they knew. It's like so for them to like live their life in like the 1930s and then just to like watch the world just grow around them. So it's probably like kind of weird. So it's like for them to like go back to that moment in time where it was like this was like the last time that we were actually human, we were actually free, we actually were around the people that we love, like we we had a sense of a community, like they had everything that that they needed in that time, and it's like they lost it forever. And I think that was why I love that scene with Smoke, not Smoke, but with Stack and older Sammy when he asked them like, even though he was like, even though that was like the worst, that was like the worst night of my life. It's like I still had a good time,
Yeah,
but he had to ask him.
yeah,
He was like, "Was that the same for you?" And he was like, "Well, yeah, because it was like that was the last time he got to feel the sun on his face. That was the last time he got to see his brother." And like you said, it was the last time that they got to be free because when you think about it, they're still not free. Even though they're vampires, they're still not free because it's like they're still in these shells of bodies that is like it's not theirs, but it's theirs.
yeah.
So
It's like
it was
a get out situation. They're in the sunken place, and the vampire has taken over.
right.
But the real them is in the sunken place looking up. So yeah, and I was gonna
Yeah.
say the same thing. That scene, I'm glad that they gave us that scene because, like you said, it showed that they're still reflecting on that time. Like you said, when when he said, "It's the last time I saw my brother alive." That line hit me the most because I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, he's still reflecting. It was like 1930s then, they're in the 90s now, so it's been
Yeah.
like a 60 year span,
Yep.
and he's still reflecting on it, and he's still. But then to have Sammy still reflecting on it too was an
Mm-hmm.
even greater thing because he's just and he was reaching out for something like somebody for that night to talk about it because he can't just talk to a normal. But he was like, hey, this has been traumatic for me my whole life, but it was still the best night. And how do you
Exactly.
feel about it? And just to get that
Right.
like therapeutic kind of
Mm.
brief conversation out the way about it, I'm sure
Right.
it showed how much it helped both of them.
And that's what I love because it's just, even though it was just like we both were saying, like, even though before the violence and all that, it was like everybody was having a good time. Everybody was drinking, gambling, eating. They were just having that good time because for them to have that, that life where it's like they're not living and it's like they just have like them few hours where they can actually just be themselves. They ain't gotta, cook for nobody, clean for nobody. They ain't gotta be in the cotton fields. Like, they can just be with the people that they love and just have a good time, and they lost that. So it's just, it's so much, but I
Yeah.
love it though. It was just, it even though it was kind of like a bittersweet film in a sense, but it was still in a way kind of like a feel good but kind of scary. Like, and I think I even said this like in my letterbox review. I'm pretty sure, I think I even said it again when I was speaking to somebody about it. I think I said, hang on, I said, what did I say? Oh, okay. I said that this is the coolest, sexiest, scariest, and horniest film I have seen this year because I have never seen so many horny people in my life.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
it's just a lot. It's like, also, Ryan Coogler, I know what you are, sir. I know what you are.
Like that fits the vampire mode from past vampire movies, but it was non-vampire people just out there trying to get it in at every second. Like,
It's like, come on. It's like, dang. It's like, why is everybody so doggone horny? I get it, but I'm
like,
like,
all right, now I know why it's called Sinners.
it's a lot of sinning going on here, people. So, was there anything else that you wanted to say about this film, brother? Any more gems?
Oh, the scene where Stack tried to bite Smoke on the neck. People were debating back and forth with me about, oh, he couldn't bite him because it was his brother. But I was thinking, no, he couldn't bite him because of that hoodoo pouch or whatever that was around his neck. But
Yes, I forgot.
somebody argued with me up and down, and then just continue to argue with me even after I explained to them the pouch and everything, and then I explained how Smoke was like, "Hey, do you have a hoodoo pouch that could bring him back?" Like the power of it, but it wasn't because they were brothers, because he wanted him to turn, he wanted to bite him. It was because that
Right.
pouch. So Mary, not Mary, but Annie, yeah,
Annie.
saved his life. Annie
Yes.
saved his life.
I had to think because I don't think I catch it the first time, but the second time I caught it because he never took it off. It's
Yeah,
like I realized like he never took it off because even when we meet Annie for the first time, and she's talking about it because she's like, I still see you have it on because he wore it when they were in the war because they
yeah.
both came home.
And
So
she re-upped it. She re-upped it.
yeah,
Remember, because she took it off and
yeah,
put it, and yeah,
yeah, and he had it and he put it back on. And so, like that scene when you said when Smoke and Stack were fighting and Stack went to go bite his brother, you can see it. You can see when he tries to bite and you
it's like a
can't because
barrier.
you can see the barrier around his neck, like he's trying to get
Yeah,
through it and he can't get through it. So it's like, I'm like, I forgot. I was like, she re-upped the pouch and she gave it back to him. So
yeah.
it's like I didn't even think about that. And then also there was another scene that I'm like, it did not click until I think when I watched it the first time. I was like, why did why did Mary freak out when Smoke, killed Annie after Stack had bit her? But
Oh,
then
yep.
it, like, when I saw it again, I was like, okay, now it's starting to click because in a sense when you think about it, Annie is to me, I felt like Annie was love. Like Annie was like that warm love that like Mary was looking for in somebody, even though she had that love, like with that, like that, like intimacy love, but
Yeah.
like that love of like the wanting of being, with some, with family, like being accepted, like having someone just love on you. And I think that's what Mary saw in Annie. was like, like kind of like a motherly sense in a way. Like she
Yeah.
just saw her like, oh, like she, like she needed that. Like she needed someone else besides, Stack to be, And so for when Smoke killed her and she screamed, I was just like, okay, now I understand. She kind of like lost a piece of herself when Annie was gone. So I
Yeah.
just feel like the whole thing of like love and like being loved and like being wanted in a community, and I think she felt that with Annie.
See, I see that. I see that. I definitely understand that. But I saw that scene as Annie and Smoke were just madly in love. So I think Stack saw it as if we get Annie on our side, Smoke will be done lost me and Annie. He's gonna just come and we're gonna be all right. But once Annie was killed by Smoke, Stack and Mary's plan went to hell, and that's when Mary was like, "Oh shit! Like he's gonna kill us all. He don't care that he's in love with her. He's his baby mama. He killed her, so he's gonna kill us." And I think that's why they took off, because I strongly believe like anybody in that situation, losing your brother, then you losing the woman you love after you just got her back, you're just gonna give up. And I think that's what Stack and Mary was hoping. And once that happened, they was like, all right, we gotta get the hell out of here. And that's why they ran off into the night.
Well, I feel like because I already felt like Smoke gave up. Well, he really didn't give up until like close to the end anyway, because like you said, like after he lost his brother and then it's like he lost the woman that he loved, just all wrong. So like towards the end when like the Klansman came in and he took that pouch off, it's like he already knew like
Oh
he
yeah.
didn't he had no more of a reason to live. Like he didn't want to be on that earth no more. So it's like whatever happened to him, it was gonna happen. And so it just sucks that it's like, okay, I'm just gonna just take as many as these guys out and then, So I
Yeah.
mean, I understand that, like, okay, he's about to go to war because it's like he been going to war all his life and he's still going to war.
Yeah.
So just to watch him and just to see him kind of like fall apart, he's like you can see this man is grasping at the seams towards the end when he finally gets Sammy and tells him, dude, just go. Like, don't look back, just leave. Like, and so it was just like it was his time. Like he's just like, all right, it's like let's get this done. Like, and it's like it took him,
Yeah.
but I think it was meant to be that way because there was,
Oh yeah.
like I said, there was nothing left. Like he lost his brother, he lost a woman, his baby was gone, and this was his chance to to be with his family, and
Yeah.
he got his chance.
He went
Yeah,
out on his own terms. So yeah, definitely.
I love it. Right. Was there anything else, brother?
No, that is all. I'm just I think they said the digital release of it is June 3rd.
Yeah,
I'm
June
just
3rd.
I'm just
I
waiting so I can watch it multiple times that day again.
Exactly. So we got like another week and two
Yeah.
days. That's really not that far apart because I already told everybody in the house, I'm like, look, I'm buying that movie. I don't even care how much it is. I'm still just gonna buy it because I love it so much.
Exactly.
I just want to watch it. Like I just look. I because I still don't understand how like there's still some people I know who hasn't seen it. I'm like I don't know what y'all doing. Y'all need to like get up off your ass and go to the movies before it's gone. But if you can't wait
Exactly.
until just wait until June 3rd. But I also heard that they're supposed to bring it back out during the fall, which I think is kind of great because I'm like, that's the perfect time to have that kind of a movie because I'm
Yeah.
like, hello, like it's the perfect setup. So it's like, I would love for another re-release because I'm like, they just did one recently for IMAX. I think
Yeah,
on
they
like
brought
this,
it back to IMAX. Yeah.
yeah, for because it was for popular demand. And I'm like, I hate to say it, but I haven't seen a movie that just recently come out and did that because it's like it was in there and then Thunderbolts came out and then they were like, okay, we just gonna throw this movie in here for one more week and then we good. So that's why I kind of just love the
Yeah.
fact that they did that. And on top of that, too, like I said, this movie is still in theaters, and this movie has been watched 1 million times already, according to
Yeah.
Letterboxd. So it's just like people want to see original shit, y'all. Like we just want to see some original stuff. We want to see original stories. Like don't get me wrong, it's like I'm sequeled out, like I'm prequeled out, I'm spin off out. I'm like I'm tired of these live action remakes. Like why do we have another Lilo and Stitch? Like why do we have another
Exactly.
why do we have another How to Train Your Dragon? Like we want original stuff, people. So thank you, Ryan Coogler. Thank you, Michael B. Jordan. Thank you, everybody who worked on this film and gave us something original because we needed it.
Yeah. Hollywood is burnt out on giving us stuff we've seen before with just maybe one or two added lines or maybe one little tiny scene. No, we don't
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
We're
getting old.
done. We're done. All right, brother. Was there anything else that you wanted to say about Sinners?
Nope, nope, nope. We are all sent out.
All right. And that is for this episode of Popcorn and Perspective. We hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as we did. Got ideas, questions, or want to be a guest on the show? Email us at chantel@hotmail.com or the hazel-eyed movie guy at yahoo.com.
Be sure to tune in next time. We'll be diving into what you're watching now. When you let us know what you're streaming on all the streaming platforms, and we will dive into directors that we love. So please don't miss it.
And as always, here at Popcorn and Perspective, watch the movies
Watch the movies, love the movies, and
and always
always
keep
keep them with
keep
you.
them with you. See y'all next time.